Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. On today's Level 1 podcast, it's the prelude to the React show, which we do every Sunday. However, we also have some serious business to discuss today because we have to determine the future of Mortal Kombat 1 on my streams. So, I hope you will join me for the discussion. I would love your feedback. All this and more on today's show. See you in just a sec. Good morning and welcome, everyone. This is the Level 1 podcast, of course, for Sunday, the 24th of September, 2023. And the lighting might seem a little off. It's because I have my blinds open. What I might do is just close them a tiny bit here to get a little bit of darkness here. It is kind of bright. A little better. We got to get this balance down because now it is the fall. And here in the fall, we're going to have fresh air every day as this window is open. But I got to get that lighting down, and some days it's brighter than others. It's actually still cloudy outside, just it was kind of messing with the backlight. So anyway, welcome to the show, and today is React Day. This is the day that after a chill podcast here on DSPGaming, we all collectively head over to my sister channel, DSP Reacts, and for 3+ hours, I react to videos that you guys have submitted for me to watch. And this week, again, a great variety of stuff, although admittedly I did notice a lot of people have submitted content from me, like watching older videos of mine and stuff. It might be that people are feeling nostalgic after celebrating my 15th anniversary as a YouTuber last month. I'm not sure, but a lot of older gameplay of mine and stuff like that. Plus, of course, good variety with everyone in the standard membership level who submits videos. It goes into a randomized playlist, so we never really know what we're going to end up watching on that show. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'll just say this, all right, any contributions that come in during this pre-stream, this podcast itself, count towards that show. So if you tip during the podcast today, yes, that carries over to that stream over on DSP Reacts. Any tiered rewards or whatever that we earn will still be in effect, okay? The reason I say this is because, as you know, I've been talking about this, that I basically have goals set out. Goal number 1 for this week, 650 members here on DSPGaming, and we've done nothing but go the wrong way. So that kind of sucks. But the other goal is to hit $50 in tips, the tier 1 goal, on every stream I do this week. Historically, on React Day, support ends up kind of being slow. So I just wanted to throw that out there. If we hit $50, we've already hit that goal. We don't have to really worry about it for the rest of the stream. If you like this content, please support it. Consider tipping today. That would help out a lot, okay? All right, let's move on to the important topics now, okay? So here's the deal, everyone. As you know, Mortal Kombat 1 released just over a week ago if you bought the early version by paying a whopping extra $40, okay? I did that because I wanted to get it early to get through the single-player content. Why did I want to do that? Because the single-player content was required to play through to unlock all the content for multiplayer, including a locked character and all these locked assists called cameos in the game. If I didn't have all of that available, then realistically, I wouldn't have even been able to mess around as much as I did with the online play because I wouldn't understand it. I wouldn't have all this stuff, able to be played. And the truth is, I'm glad I did that because immediately I played with Havoc and learned a little bit about him. And then yesterday when I was playing online, I fought a Havoc, and I kind of knew what his moveset was because I had faced him before, okay? So, I knew that that was required. Now, why is that required in Mortal Kombat 1? That's a good question. No other fighting games really hide content behind single-player content anymore. They all basically say it's all available. You boot the game, you can play with every character, it's all there. Now, there are games that will have, you know, other ways to unlock optional content that doesn't affect anything, like cosmetics, you know. Oh, if you want to play through the single-player mode or in the credits, then you can buy an alternate outfit or alternate color scheme or something like that. That's very similar to what Street Fighter 6 does. But at least when you buy Street Fighter 6, everything's there. Play online as much as you want. It's all available at launch, right? Mortal Kombat 1 didn't do that. They used an outdated formula. And so I knew if I got the game early, I'd be able to get through the story, which was reportedly around 6 to 8 hours long. And I'd be able to get through Invasion mode, which I was told you had to play anywhere from 3 to 5 hours to unlock all this stuff. And then go online and be able to play the game at any kind of a sufficient capacity, okay? So I did. I paid the extra 40 plus bucks last week. And over the course of last weekend, it was about 6.5 hours to beat the campaigns, or the story. It took about 3 streams. And then we jumped into the Invasion mode, which is the single-player mode of the game, which is fine. You're going across these maps that almost look like a board game. You're doing mini-fights with different challenges and special situations and criteria. Very similar to how they used to have the challenge towers with things like, oh, fireballs are raining down, you get randomly frozen. Very similar to that. Good thing is you can switch characters between the matches, so you can learn various different characters. You can level up characters and unlock things for them, like customizables and other color palettes, as well as their movesets and things. Like, you'll be able to know more of their brutalities and stuff by playing with them in this mode. And overall, I think Invasion is a fine, single-player offline style mode for a game like Mortal Kombat 1. But it doesn't resonate with my audience, all right? After having played through the story, everyone was just clamoring for multiplayer. And I'm like, well, we don't have the content unlocked yet. Until the content is unlocked, there's no point in playing multiplayer. I don't have the assists and everything. But everyone didn't care. I'm just being honest. People want what they want. And they started screaming, we want multiplayer, we want multiplayer, we want multiplayer. So even the nights that I was doing Invasion mode, which I didn't have everything unlocked, I would still kind of pair that and do a little bit of multiplayer. First, I did about 45 minutes with Havoc, and then I did about an hour and a half with Raiden, okay? So, I did get about two hours of ranked multiplayer in, and my initial impressions, I'll be honest, were not very good. What I noticed is that the connections, and this is the final version of the game, by the way, which I should emphasize, because some people were very critical of my opinions on the beta that came out in August. They were like, oh, well, how dare you be so critical? This is just the beta. It's not the final product. And I was like, all right, but you understand this beta came out only a month before the real game. What makes you think the final product's going to be so much better? Well, the final product is out, and it's not any better. Essentially, the online connections I get in Mortal Kombat 1, ranked play, are twice as laggy as Street Fighter 6. When I play Street Fighter 6, I average anywhere between like 15 to maybe 60 milliseconds. Yes, definitely there's matches that are like 80 milliseconds, 100 milliseconds or more, but those are more of the rarity. And when you have those matches, you have the option to say, oh, I want to quit out, I don't want to continue to play because it's too laggy. In Mortal Kombat 1 so far, the absolute best connection I got, I want to say, was roughly around 50 milliseconds. That's more than double the latency of the matches I get in Street Fighter 6. On average, the matches are 80 to 100. So they're already delayed, all right? That's bad netcode. In addition, every time I've played this, the game has crashed during a ranked set, making all the matches I played in that set completely worthless because the game won't count them then. And this happens randomly all the time. It's not like, oh, it was an infrequent occurrence. Every single time I've played the game online, 3 sessions now, it's happened multiple times. So, obviously there's something going on. Their netcode is nowhere near as good as the netcode used in Street Fighter 6. That's just my initial observation on the game. Okay? So, now that we have gotten through all of this single-player content and at least unlocked the things that are required to be unlocked before you go online, I did a full session of Mortal Kombat 1 multiplayer yesterday. What I told you guys I would do is exactly what I would do with every single fighting game. I would take a character and go quickly into training mode, try to learn some basic strategies and combos and special moves, go into their trials, try to learn a little bit there, and then go right online. And that's what I did. I picked Sindel and learned basic combos. I actually learned 1 or 2 strategies using her trial, so I'm glad I did it. And then we went online. And basically the first match out, now keep in mind I had played 40 minutes or so with Havoc, and an hour and a half with Raiden. So maybe 2 hours of ranked online play. So I think I had ranked out of rookie status into like newbie status. So you're not just like first time playing, so your second time playing, that's where I am ranked in this game. First match out of the gates yesterday is a Baraka player that literally hits me once and gets a 60% damage combo. Wow. By the way, the Baraka player has a string of hits backed up by a cameo, so now I can't even do anything but block. If I try to hit him, I get interrupted and he gets the same combo. Huh? In addition, the game isn't good online, it's laggy. So it's not even like I can really react to what he's doing. Essentially, the guy is just spamming the same nonsense over and over. And I'm like, wow, this is my first actual real attempt at online ranked, and this is what the game is giving me. I'm a noob. It's literally my first match ever with Sindel, and I'm facing someone who, if they touch me once, gets a 60% damage combo, and then can continuously just do it over and over because you can't interrupt it because of the way they built this game. Okay? So that was my first experience literally out of the gates. And you might say, well, I don't get it. If it's your first match with Sindel, why are they pairing you against someone who knows how to play like that? Well, there's a very good reason, because their ranking system sucks. With Street Fighter 6, Capcom did something that made so much sense that I almost guarantee you, moving forward, every major fighting game will cover it, or copy it, I should say. In Street Fighter 6, when you select a character, let's say Ryu, and you go online, you start at 0, at the bottom, you're playing newbies. You do a rank up system where you play 10 matches to place you where you should be in the ranks. If you play poorly, you'll go at the bottom, so you'll be able to play slowly and go up the ranks and get better with the character. If you play really well, and you're doing crazy combos, and you're getting big wins, then you're probably going to place much higher, and you'll be able to play immediately against better players in higher ranks. Seems to make sense. The other cool thing about Street Fighter 6 is that each character has their own individual ranking. What Capcom did is they used some brain power and said, gee, just because someone's good with Ryu probably doesn't mean they're good with Zangief. They're completely different styles of character. So just because you're good with one doesn't mean you should immediately jump into high-level ranked play with another if you try to switch characters and use a different one. Right? It's genius. It just makes perfect sense, the system that they use. Now listen, it's not perfect, and I've had a lot of problems with the ranking system. There's been times when I win 5 out of 10 matches and they place me low, and other times I win 5 out of 10 matches and they place me high. It's not perfect, but at least it's something. And the real thing that excels here is the separation of the ranks per character. Who the hell wants to play a fighting game with one character, get good, then try to learn a new character you don't know how to use yet and get trounced because they have you way up here in the ranks? It doesn't make any sense at all. It's bullshit. What it is, it's very outdated. It's nonsensical. And people have done better now with Street Fighter 6. That Capcom said, this is better. Mortal Kombat 1 completely ignored its contemporaries. That's the best way I can really describe it. It's a game that felt like it was being developed in a bubble. It paid no attention whatsoever to what Street Fighter 6 was doing, and instead just said, well, what should we do? Well, each time that we made a Mortal Kombat in the trilogy that we just put out, 9 through 11, we incrementally increased one thing or made one thing different or better. You know, in the original Mortal Kombat 9, it was a reboot of the series, so you had the classic characters come back, and there was this ground bounce mechanic where you could do a neutral punch, and it would create a juggle in the corner or whatever for big combo ability. Then in Mortal Kombat 10, they got rid of the bounce, and they added in some other new elements to make it better. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, because I remember it was something completely different, and people liked it. Then in Mortal Kombat 11, they went in a different direction and said, we want to make Mortal Kombat more like Street Fighter. So we're going to take away the whole block button mechanic that everyone hated. We're going to make it so that now you can do wake-up moves and reversals, essentially adding in elements that were present in other fighting games and were never present in Mortal Kombat. Okay, great. So what are you doing for Mortal Kombat 12? Well, we're just going to forget half the things we did for Mortal Kombat 11. We're just going to scale the game back to play just like Mortal Kombat 10, but we're going to add in assist characters called cameos. Oh. Well, what else are you doing? Oh, nothing. 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 No, nothing. It's the same now. It's the same as Mortal Kombat 10 with assists. Oh. So you're charging everyone $70 to go backwards. And then add in one new thing that's not new. Assist characters have been in fighting games since the 1990s. They were introduced in the Versus series of games. The first game that ever had them was Marvel Super Heroes vs. Street Fighter. I know because I fucking played it in arcades. I know the day they came out, and I know how people were like, oh, they're kind of whack. They're not really very useful. Because back then, they weren't. They weren't actually very useful until Marvel vs. Capcom 1, and then in 2, they became godlike. So I was there the entire time when this thing was introduced. And King of Fighters had them. I know all about the history of it. It's not something new. It's 25 years outdated. It's not a new idea, but Mortal Kombat 1 acts like it is a new idea for some odd reason, like we've never seen this before. So that's it. That's the gameplay of Mortal Kombat 1. It's Mortal Kombat 10 with assists. They took back the changes, scaled back the things that were added for Mortal Kombat 11, and essentially what happens is the game becomes incredibly slow. It feels like you're playing in molasses. Every character is just really not reacting to much because everything has this big slow ass animation to come out. The fastest move in the game is low jab, and that's what everyone does. They do safe combo, low jab, safe combo, low jab over and over. That's the play of Mortal Kombat 1 until someone finally catches you with a mix-up, because what they'll try to do is hit you high or hit you low, and then, or do an overhead. So if you're blocking low, oops, now it goes through your block, and that immediately leads to a 50 or more % damage combo because the cameos extend the length of combos now, and you're basically, your match is shot because you just lost more than half your life. How are you going to come back from that life detriment? That's literally the whole game. So while Street Fighter 6, better netcode, better ranking system, added in a ton of new gameplay mechanics to make it fast-paced, interesting, much more advanced than any Street Fighter before it. Literally, Street Fighter 6 has more gameplay elements in it than any Street Fighter game seen, and actually has way more gameplay elements than most fighting games. I would say maybe it's the ArcSys games have more. You know, like Guilty Gear and BlazBlue have always been very complex with 5 zillion gameplay mechanics. But it's pretty darn complex. If you play Street Fighter 6 at a high level, you need a lot of knowledge and a lot of practice. Mortal Kombat 1 essentially is, you got a character, you'll learn 1 or 2 ginormous combos, right, which are easy to do. They're not hard to do. They're pretty basic. Everything in this game is dial a combo. It's this button, this button, this button, then do a juggle, this button, oh, pull out your cameo, this button, this button, this button, finisher. Wow. Wow, you press 10 buttons in succession, and you got like 60% damage. You're just amazing. And every character has this, okay? So it's a simpleton's game compared to other current fighters. I would argue Tekken, Street Fighter, ArcSys games, they're all more complicated than Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1 is so simple that when you've been playing other fighting games, you get bored. And that's essentially what happened to me yesterday, okay? I started playing with Sindel. And at first, I'm getting trounced because every person doesn't really understand fighting game mechanics, but they know how to spam, so they're spamming low attack, high attack, low attack, high attack, and then getting a combo after when I don't block correctly, okay? After a couple matches, you know, I get pretty used to it. All right, well, I'm going to adapt to that. And so I did, and I stopped getting hit by that, and I started doing a few other tactics, like keeping them away with Sindel, and a couple, like 2-in-1 combos to get them away, and every once in a while I get lucky, and I get a juggle, and then I get my own combo. So yesterday, I won about as much as I lost. In fact, the person who tracks my Street Fighter 6 statistics did track, and I think they said I won like 20-some matches, and I lost like 30. So it was very close. It was negative because those people were dominating me at first, but it was very close. It was like 46%, 47% win-loss ratio, okay? Keep in mind, that's with me playing Sindel for the first time, not knowing what I'm doing, and them throwing me to the wolves because the rank system is stupid and thinks I know what I'm doing because I already played ranked with Raiden and Havoc, which is dumb. It's the worst ranked system. You can't do that. It should be per character. So, basically, you know, by the end of the session, here's what I found, okay? Number one, this game is slow. It just is. The whole game is fucking slow. It feels like you're playing underwater. If you've played Street Fighter 6 and you play Mortal Kombat 1, you're going to be like, what's wrong with the game? There's nothing wrong with it. It's designed to play like that. Every single move and animation has 40,000 frames and takes so long to come out that it feels like you're slow, like something's happened. You're in slow motion, even though that's not really the case. That's the game, okay? Number two, the online connections are bad. Sorry. This connection level was acceptable 2-3 games ago. At this point in 2023, when your major contemporaries and competitors have improved their netcode to the point where their connections are twice as good as yours, that's awful. By the way, I don't drop in the middle of entire sets frequently in Street Fighter 6. I've done it every time I've played Mortal Kombat 1 multiple times. So the netcode is trash. They had opportunity to improve. They didn't. It's the same netcode that you've played in previous Mortal Kombats with no improvements. It just feels exactly the same as before, which is not good. You should be incrementally improving every game, not just doing the same. And then on top of that, like I said, there's just not enough gameplay elements in this game to keep my interest. I mean, in reality, it's try to go for a low attack or a high attack, mix them up, and then do a combo after, okay? Maybe every once in a while catch them or lock them down with a cameo assist, all right? Every once in a while, you play a little bit of fundamentals. Instead of it just being high-low mix-up, you go for a one-off hit and then push them back. Like with Sindel, she has this hit with her hair, and then she can push them back with a meter burn fireball. And if it happens to get them into the corner, now you get a free combo. So there's a few elements that are slightly different. But in reality, there's just not that much. It's almost every character will play exactly the same because there's all the same idea. Get the one hit, lead to a giant combo, wash, rinse, repeat. They didn't try to innovate or improve. They literally made the game boring. Okay? That's my opinion. Now, there's people out there who love Mortal Kombat, and maybe they love the game, and that's okay. I'm not going to say, hey, just because this is your style of game, it sucks or anything. I'm telling you, from my perspective, as someone who came out of retirement playing fighting games at a serious level and learned Street Fighter 6 and played it now for almost 4 months, Street Fighter 6 is like night and day different from Mortal Kombat 1. It's like watching the major leagues versus watching the minor league people trying to practice to get ready for the major leagues, right? I made this comparison last night. I said, imagine you go to a dance recital of a high-level professional ballet dancers, and they're doing these crazy elaborate moves, these pirouettes, artistic. You could tell these are artists. These people have been studying for decades to do what they do. And then next door they have a dance recital, and it's a bunch of 5-year-olds, and they're going, woo, woo, woo. That's what it feels like playing Mortal Kombat 1 after you've played Street Fighter 6. It's like, I feel like I've been so advanced past this level, and now I have to play this dumbed down crap because this is what they actually put out as a new game. It feels just like a waste. It does. It feels like, man, here's an opportunity when your contemporary stepped up to the plate and said, we're going to improve our entire engine and we're going to make a product that's way better than anything we've ever done before. And then you said, well, let's just put out a game that's exactly the same as all the others we just put out, the last 3. No real effort. Just kind of shovel it out there. By the way, did you notice there's 0 new characters in Mortal Kombat 1? 0. I want to emphasize that. Every character in Mortal Kombat 1 is a reused character from previous games. They didn't even put enough effort into it to design a new character yet. It was too hard. And I even said when I was playing the game originally, I feel like what this game is, well, as 9, 10, and 11 were made to be an homage to people who played Mortal Kombat in the 90s. It was a reboot of the plot line to see the original scenario of the tournament be replayed in Outworld, and then have a new outcome that allowed these characters to grow and thrive and have families and kids and have a whole new generation of Mortal Kombat gameplay, which is kind of what people in the 90s always wanted and never got. Well, now, this game, Mortal Kombat 1, which has rebooted the story, seems like it's an homage to those who played the 2000s Mortal Kombat. These were 3D games that were only home console. There wasn't really competitive play for them. There wasn't a major tournament scene for them. There were no arcade machines for them. It was just you play at home, you mess around with your friends, you rip each other's spines out, you shove them up your assholes, and you have some gory fun, but they weren't meant to be serious fighting games. They were party games. All right? And they were very much seen that way until Mortal Kombat 9 rebooted the franchise along with the popularity of Street Fighter 4. So, what they've done is they basically said, here's a fan service game. If you like the 2000s Mortal Kombat, you'll love it. Yeah, but what about all the rest of us in the fighting game community who are looking for something to compete with Street Fighter? Mortal Kombat 1 does not compete with Street Fighter at all. It doesn't even try. They put no effort into improving any of the things Street Fighter 6 improved. They just left it as is and acted like this is just fine because this is what we've always done. Wrong. In the fighting game community, when your contemporaries have stepped it up, you must also step it up if you want to hang. They didn't try. They just said, just more of the same. But what about all these reports about Street Fighters doing all these different things? I don't care. Just put out the same fucking game again. Cameos are so cool, bro. Spell it with a K. And no one will notice that it's an element that's been in fighting games for 25 years, right? Like, okay. And that's what the game is. Okay? So, after having played yesterday, all right, I was very disappointed. Like, 2 hours in, and this is, by the way, it wasn't just my opinion. I was playing, and as I was playing, I was asking my audience, what do you think? And the people who were there live yesterday, essentially their opinion was very similar. They're like, wow, this is really what the game is? Like, yeah, this is the whole game. Everyone hits you once for 50% damage or more, and then you have to guess how to block and get lucky and hit them back and do your combo, and that's it. That's the whole fucking game. And they were like, wow, this just doesn't look very good. Plus, a lot of people were like, dude, it's just so slow compared to Street Fighter. It just looks like you're playing in molasses. Yeah, it feels like it too. So, basically, what happened was 2 hours in, people started saying, hey, could you stop playing this game and play Street Fighter 6? I was like, what? I was literally like, what? They're like, yeah. You know, could you stop playing Mortal Kombat 1 and go back to playing Lily in Street Fighter 6? We'd really like to see a hit master with Lily. And I was like, maybe I would like to. And I was like, wait a minute. No. I promised everyone today I'm playing Mortal Kombat 1. At the very least, I got to live up to my promises, right? I have to. I can't just lie to everyone and say, just because this kind of sucks, I'm going to switch. So I did. I played the whole 3 hours with Sindel. We got a whole stream in, all right? And the video, you could watch the footage right now if you want. It's live on the channel. And by the way, I'm not constantly slamming the game as I play it either. I win matches. But here's the sad part. Even the matches that I won, that I outplayed the opponent. There was a match against the Katana. At first she was kicking my ass. Then I learned her strategy, outplayed her, and won the set. I didn't have fun. I was actually quite bored. Because again, it takes 1/3 of the amount of thought to play Mortal Kombat 1 as it does to play Street Fighter 6. I'm barely even really caring or thinking about what I'm doing. It's just meh. See, again, like I said, I hate to say it, it feels like a simpleton's game when you've played something much more advanced. And that's my opinion, and other people will disagree. And there's tons of people in a competitive Mortal Kombat community who will love this game or whatever, and more power to them. Let them love what they love. I'm not going to say you're not allowed to like this game. What I'm saying is, from my perspective as someone who stayed out of competitive fighting games for almost a decade, I just got back in with Street Fighter 6, and then I played Mortal Kombat 1. It's like, whoa. Why do I want to play the far... This would be like, again, you go to a gourmet restaurant and you're offered an insanely good gourmet burger. It's dripping with truffle oil and all these amazing things. Wow. Or you could go next door and you could buy a Big Mac. It's like... And I can have either. Which would I have? The gourmet with the Wagyu beef and the truffle oil? Or would I go next door and eat the Big Mac? I think I know what I'm going to eat. And it ain't the fucking Big Mac, right? So, that's my opinion after having played it. Now, herein lies the problem. I spent $120 on fucking Mortal Kombat 1. Yes, I spent that much money on the goddamn game. They charged me $40 extra to play it early, by not even a week, and to give me the first season of content, which essentially is a couple, like I think it's Ermac, who's the other character? It's the other version, Takeda. I think it's Ermac, Takeda, Omni-Man, and fucking what's his name from The Boys. I can't remember his name at this point. And you know, I'll be honest, when they announced that pack, right? I was like, this is stupid. I'll be honest, I was like, wow, this is dumb. First of all, Omni-Man and Homelander, that's his character, are basically Superman knockoffs. They're supposed to be like dark versions of Superman from alternate dimensions that are very different than the personality type and morals of Superman, but they have his powers. They're exactly the same character, except they're from two different plot lines. Why are there two of the same fucking character? So right off the bat, I was like, this is a stupid DLC pack. Ermac was already in the previous Mortal Kombat games. Takeda was already in the previous Mortal Kombat games. Why are they not in the base game? So this whole expansion pack doesn't even make sense to begin with, right? It's almost like you want to play it for curiosity's sake to see why are Omni-Man and Homelander both in it when they're the same fucking character. You know what I mean? So that's, and the thing is, I own it. I literally own this pack. But I've only played one major stream one major stream of Mortal Kombat 1 and I'm bored. And I really can't even stomach it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have fun. I played an entire stream yesterday. I got lots of wins. I didn't care. At the end of the stream, I was like, I much rather would have been playing something else, whether it would have been Lies of P or more Street Fighter 6 or whatever. I would have had way more enjoyment playing any other game. Okay? So here's the deal. All right? I'm very sad because I liked Mortal Kombat over the last 3 games. 9, 10, and 11, I thought, were a great way to get back into Mortal Kombat and take it more seriously. You have to understand, Mortal Kombat was not taken seriously during the 2000s. It sold well as a party game, but it wasn't until Mortal Kombat 9 where it went back into competitive circles, okay? And here's the thing. The last decade, okay, essentially, I have not played competitive fighting games. What did I play? Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo in any version that was available online, which always was laggy and terrible, and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike and a couple other games, right, that were in those collections. But I never played a modern Street Fighter. Why? Because Street Fighter 5 sucked. Sorry, it just did. And I said since day one when that game came out, I hated it, okay? So I've been out of the loop. And I would casually play fighting games. I would buy the new Mortal Kombat, buy the new Injustice, buy the new Tekken, or whatever it may be, and I would play it for a while. And I would learn a few characters or whatever, basics online. And then after a week or two of playing it, I get bored and I'm like, all right, we move on. But that's always how it's been because Street Fighter is my forte, not those games. Now that Street Fighter 6 is out, and I'm loving it, and I'm playing at a level where I can get characters to master, and we're doing good and everything, that's kind of like where I feel my roots are always going to be in. You know what I'm saying? Like, always, I'm going to feel like that's where I'm at home. And especially now that I get the gameplay elements of the game and I'm enjoying it, like Aki is coming out in a few days. That's the next DLC character for Street Fighter 6, and I can't wait to try her. And I'm not saying I'm going to like her. I'm just saying just to try her out and learn her abilities or whatever. That's fun to me because I know the gameplay elements or whatever. And like I said, I feel more at home. Even as complex as it is, I'll feel more at home learning a new character in that game or whatever. I don't know. Now, and so with Mortal Kombat 1, the tough part for me is saying, man, I think I should just not play it again because I spent a lot of money on it. And I know there were people in my audience who were anticipating the game. I know that for a fact. And after yesterday's stream, I think a lot of those people watched and were like, oh, God, this is really bad compared to what Phil's been doing. So it's kind of like we all collectively looked yesterday and were like, wow, what a disappointment. This game is meant just for hardcore fans of Mortal Kombat. It's no improvements. They didn't even try. There's no effort here. Wow. That's so sad. And you know, I was talking about this yesterday, and I think a lot of people didn't even realize this. Did you know that outside of the United States and Europe, Mortal Kombat is not really accepted as a good fighting game? In Asia, they don't even play it. They ignore it like it doesn't exist. Seriously. No one plays it competitively. No one has it at tournaments. It's just a joke to them. They laugh at it. They think it's a funny thing that's, oh, gore in a fighting game. Ha, ha, ha. They don't take it seriously at all. It's only here in English-speaking countries where people like Mortal Kombat and play it. That's why, historically, okay, with Mortal Kombat, the competitive circle only lasts about a year. Every single time that a Mortal Kombat or Injustice, usually it's any NetherRealm game, whenever a NetherRealm fighter comes out, you get the initial hype, so it lasts a couple of months. People are talking about the story, and then the new, you know, and then some expansion fighters come out, they talk about that. But within about a year of any new NetherRealm game coming out, the game just disappears. No one talks about it. No one plays it in competitive circles. It vanishes. And that's always par for the course for NetherRealm games. While Street Fighter, Tekken, ArcSys, even Smash Brothers, those games persist on in a competitive nature. Mortal Kombat just sizzles off and fades away. It's just a fact. It's not me just, you know, oh, I don't like Mortal Kombat and I'm saying that. It's historically documented. This happens every time. That's what happens when you have a game that's not even accepted worldwide as a competitive game. So, for me, in the last decade, I felt Mortal Kombat was a great surrogate for fighting games. When Street Fighter sucked ass with Street Fighter 5, it was great to be able to play something. And it was great that they were alternating between Mortal Kombat and Injustice, so you had various different kinds of gameplay that were a little different, right? But now I hate to say it, now that Street Fighter is back, I kind of feel like they picked up the mantle of this is what a competitive fighter should be and made Mortal Kombat look like shit. It almost seems to me like the days of Mortal Kombat getting, you know, its time in the sun are done. They need to really step it up and improve if they hope to get any kind of traction in the fighting game community. And right now, what you'll see is for the next several weeks, everyone will be talking about Mortal Kombat, and the reason is because it's hype. It's the new game. All the stream monsters, right? Oh, we got to stream it. We got to talk about it. We got to cover it and put out a bunch of fucking videos about it to get our clickbait views because the game is hot and new. But within a few months, likely it's going to be exactly the same as what's always happened. That'll die out, but you'll still hear stuff about Street Fighter. And Tekken is on the way. And when Tekken 8 comes out in January, that'll be the new hotness that everyone will be talking about. And Mortal Kombat will very quietly, swept under the rug, just like it always does, and kind of fade away until maybe a DLC character comes out. Then you'll hear about Homelander for one day as everyone plays him and says, wow, he's stupid. And then that's it. And, you know, that's what always happens with these games. So, Mortal Kombat 1. After having played through the story and not liking the ending of the story, after having played Invasion and liking Invasion, but you guys don't like it, right? And then playing the online play and realizing I really don't like it because it's just so inferior to everything Street Fighter 6 has to offer, I think it's time to say goodbye to Mortal Kombat, and we've only played it for about a week. That's sad. That pisses me off that I spent all that extra money on this game, more than I normally even would for a fighting game. I feel like I got burned. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. With Street Fighter 6, all right, I spent extra money to get the deluxe edition, right? And I did feel burned because I felt like some of the stuff in there, I'm not, like those credit tickets or whatever, you don't use them for anything. And it's like, wow, you kind of get burned there. You didn't get anything for it. But I got the season pass. I'm going to get all the DLC characters and all of that. I mean, I got so much content and traction and fun out of Street Fighter 6, I went ahead and rebought it for another console, right? With Mortal Kombat 1, I don't even feel like I got enough out of the game to warrant the regular purchase, and I spent deluxe money on it. Dab Hands just said in the chat, you should have trusted your instincts from the beta. Mortal Kombat just wasn't the way. I mean, you're right. When I played the beta, if you remember, I was like, dude, it just doesn't feel right. The game is slow. The fucking connections are shit. How is this going to hang with Street Fighter 6? Even Street Fighter 6's beta was dramatically better than the Mortal Kombat 1 beta. And everyone told me at that time, oh, you're judging unfairly. This is just the beta. It's not the final game. I was like, dude, it's a month until the final game comes out. What do you think they're going to do? Rewrite the fucking netcode from top to bottom and then recode the whole game too? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I feel, honestly, like I've kind of been ripped off. And, like, I made a bad decision. And you know what? I'll man up here. It's on me. Because the way I saw it was if we can get the story content out of the way right away, we could focus more on multiplayer. And I knew that Lies of P was coming out. And I knew people were going to want to see me play that. I was dying to see what that game was. And so I wanted to kind of clear the schedule out, get through the single player first. And then I thought, oh, we'll alternate Lies of P and Mortal Kombat on day streams. And then Starfield and Street Fighter 6 on night streams for like 2 weeks. And then finally, as new content started to come out in October, we could start to reduce the amount of time that I play, say maybe multiplayer Mortal Kombat. And by then, I'd probably be getting near the end of Lies of P. But I guess, you know, I just too much depended on the game being good and worth your time. It's just sad to me that as I'm playing Mortal Kombat 1, I have my audience actually saying, can you stop playing Mortal Kombat 1 and go play Street Fighter 6 instead? And I was like, wow. You gotta understand something. People were getting bored of Street Fighter 6. They were dying for Mortal Kombat 1. They couldn't wait. And now that I play the game, they're like, never mind. We actually take that back. Now that we've seen Mortal Kombat 1, everyone's bad here. You know, it's not your fault. It's not our fault because we didn't know. But, man, just go back and play Street Fighter 6 because that is so bad. Like, wow. You know, we all got fooled thinking that they were going to do better, and they didn't. So, guys, I think that's it. Unless there is a giant uproar from my audience saying, no, this is a horrible decision, right? I think that's it. A week. The game lasted a freaking week. The game lasted literally one major online session, and that's it. I mean, I can't believe they made no effort to improve this game. Same netcode, same ranking system, same slow-ass molasses gameplay. Only now it's even worse because everyone has a ginormous, overpowered combo, and everyone has lockdown with cameos. So you made your bad game worse. And they removed all the elements they added in Mortal Kombat 11 to stop it. So fast blocking, that's gone. Wake up reversals, that's gone. You removed all the elements people needed to make it better. Well, here's what you can do. I hate to say it. Ed Boon and everyone who made Mortal Kombat 1, enjoy your 2-3 months where people talk about your game. Enjoy your fanboy community who goes crazy for your games. You know, the same people who always win in your games will kiss its ass and play and get you some popularity temporarily. And then watch yourself fade into obscurity. Just like always. While Street Fighter 6 will persist on, and then Tekken 8 will come out, and that will take over your all the hoopla. I mean, they really didn't try, and that's sad. They had opportunity. They knew Street Fighter 6 was coming, and they were doing something big and different. They absolutely knew. Everyone knew, especially with those multiple betas and things. They just didn't care. They thought, all we got to do is pump out another game. I already made 3. Let's pump out 1 more. It's the same. Like, what the hell? That's yikes. How does no one at that company have the creative direction to say, okay, we need to do something because our competitors are stepping it up? I'm at a loss. I am. Like, that's really bad creative direction, that you're making this game and you didn't think you needed to actually step up and be better because your competition is. Yes, you have to. It's not like there's 400 fighting games out there. You know what I'm saying? So people are just going to pick the best one or ones. They're not going to continue to play the bad one. This one is just yikes. You know, like I said, right now it's got popularity because it just came out, but in a competitive circle, this game is not going to last, just like it never does. They didn't even try. So, oh well. So that's my decision. All right. Now, again, I'm not someone who doesn't listen to feedback. So if I get enough feedback essentially saying, no, that's a bad decision, you should still play it, maybe I'll consider it. But for now, being I don't like it, literally my audience didn't like it and said, no, don't play it anymore. Go back to Street Fighter. I think that's what I should do. All right. So, yeah. Now, here's the thing. This is going to change the schedule. And it's going to change it interestingly. It's going to give us some opportunities. So allow me to tell you what I'd like to do. Let's go into the schedule segment of the show. Here's what I want to do for this week. But then next week, we may actually be able to do something you guys wanted that I wasn't going to do, but now we can probably do it. Okay? All right? So, here we go. Today's stream, obviously after this, we head over to the React channel, DSP Reacts, for the weekly clip show, DSP versus the Internet. I love the show. It's fun. It's a good variety of stuff. You never know what we're going to watch, and this week will be no exception. I'm sure there's going to be a good variety of stuff that no one saw coming, and we'll see how it goes. Should be a good show. Again, if you want to support that channel, many ways you could do it by becoming a member, gifting memberships to that channel, and of course tipping during this stream. As I told you guys, I don't make money on the videos on DSP Reacts. I make zero. They all get claimed or demonetized. So it's really support during those streams that makes that channel continue to be viable. So becoming a member, gifting memberships, and tipping and stuff, that's what helps that channel. Please consider doing that during that stream. Later tonight, Lies of P returns on the late stream at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to head into, I believe this would be Chapter 6. I'm not sure because we just had a big boss fight, and it seems like there's been one big boss at the end of each chapter. So we're going to be heading, hopefully, into a new chapter and new stuff, and it should be exciting. I hope you'll join me for that. Tomorrow, more Lies of P. All right? So we're going to have Lies of P tonight and Lies of P on tomorrow's daytime stream. So 5 straight hours. Tomorrow night, the late night stream on Monday night will be Lily, Street Fighter 6 ranked gameplay in an effort to get her to master rank. This is incredibly challenging. Every time I've played with Lily at this level, I basically get trounced by certain top level players who just get me in the corner and just stomp me. And I can't do anything because I'm Lily. And then one move will drop or one combo won't work, and then I lose because I'm Lily. And that kind of is very frustrating. It's been the roughest climb out of both Blanca and Honda. They were much easier compared to I'm going through with Lily here. But we are essentially on the precipice of hitting Master. I am like 24,150 points, and we need 850 more to hit Master. So my goal would be to get Master with Lily tomorrow night. I hope we can do it. And then we have 3 characters firmly in Master that if you guys want to see Master level gameplay, I could, try to learn those characters better and play at a better level. At this point, I haven't used Blanca in like, what, a month, right? So, let's see how it goes tomorrow night. Then on Tuesday, originally, Tuesday's daytime stream was going to be Mortal Kombat 1. But considering the fact that I just don't like the game, and you guys don't seem to like it either, I think instead we should just do more Lies of P. And I'm okay with that. From by all reports, Lies of P is about 30 hours long. I am currently 11 hours in. So if I play it tonight, and I play it tomorrow, and I play it Tuesday, you're talking I'll be about 2/3 into the game, which is great. I'll be in a good position to maybe finish up the game before the new releases start hitting in October. So I think that's what we should do. We should do more Lies of P on Tuesday. Tuesday night will be Starfield, continuing on with the UC Vanguard quest line. Last night I had a lot of fun in the game. We had a lot of progress, a lot of good story elements were unlocked. It's a very chill stream. It's very similar to when we were playing Oblivion or Skyrim or Fallout as these late night chill streams. So I'm really expecting more of that and really enjoying it. So I hope you'll join me for that. Wednesday, it's the big new character in Street Fighter 6, Aki. Now, I don't know if she's going to be good or not. And the reason I say that, because she's supposedly based on the character Fang for Street Fighter 5, who literally was the worst character in the game. He was trash. He was completely unplayable at a competitive level. I liked him and tried, and there was no way to win. He sucked, okay? This character is a little different. She has different moveset. I don't know if she's going to be better or worse. She seems to have moves that can move around fireballs and things like that. That could be pretty interesting. So, I hope she's good, honestly. Like, I would hope this would be like the redemption for Fang sucking ass in Street Fighter 5. I guess we'll find out. But I'm going to do exactly like I did with Rashid last month when he released. First stream, which will be the daytime stream on Wednesday, we'll go into trials and tutorial mode. We'll learn her basics. It'll teach you her special moves. It'll teach her combos and stuff like that. So we'll try to learn some basic strategies, how to use her moves and things like that. Then likely we'll do some casual play. We'll just do 1 or 2 or 3 matches, trying to learn the basics, trying to figure out exactly how to use her. Then we'll do replacement matches in ranked, and then we'll try to play ranked. All right? I don't know if I'm going to do any better or worse than I did with Rashid. Rashid, I did exceptionally well. I think by the time we had finished with Rashid, we were at like 3-star diamond or something crazy like that, right? I'm not saying that's going to happen. But I'd like to give the day to the new character, Aki. So all day Wednesday, first and second streams, Street Fighter 6 all day, playing with Aki in the game. All right? Now, for next week, there is no new releases at the end of September or the first week of October. So here's what I would like to do. I would like to play the Separate Ways DLC that just released in Resident Evil 4 Remake. I skipped it because I said I was going to be too busy, but now all of a sudden it doesn't look like I'm going to be too busy anymore. All right? The Separate Ways DLC, from what I'm to understand, is only about 5 to 6 hours long. As you know, I will be doing interactive streams, which makes it a little bit longer. All right? So, I think I would like to integrate that, all right, into my content, all right? And I heard it's only $10, and it'll probably be 2 major streams, all right? I think people would really enjoy it. I mean, considering the fact that people loved the Resident Evil 4 Remake playthrough that I did earlier in the year. Oh, by the way, absolutely, positively, yes, I will be playing the Separate Ways DLC on hardcore difficulty. Yeah! Give me the hardcore Plagas, baby. Yeah! We're doing it, just like I did with the original playthrough earlier this year. Okay? So, I think we will do that next week. Alright? We'll integrate it in. We'll balance it in with everything else I'm doing. So, with that going on, you might say, well, wait a minute. Alright, so let's figure this out. So, you're going to play Lies of P. You're going to continue with that. Yes. You're going to do the Separate Ways DLC in Resident Evil 4 Remake. That'll probably take 2 major streams. Correct. You're still going to play Starfield. That's right. So what about Street Fighter? That's a great question. Obviously, I want to keep playing Street Fighter 6, but what am I going to do? Well, first of all, I guess number one, it would depend on how I do with Aki. Let's say I play with Aki on Wednesday, and it goes really well, and I like the character, and I want to continue to play with her. Then I probably just will. We'll just keep going. Depending on where I am in the placements with Aki, maybe we'll keep playing with her, trying to get better with her, and rank her up. I'm not saying that I'm going to get her to master level within a couple of streams. That's very doubtful. But what I'm saying is if she's a good character and I'm enjoying the gameplay, maybe I'll just keep going. Unlike last time with Rashid, where I was kind of in the middle of something with what was considered my main characters, at this point, I'm not. You see what I'm saying? I'm not. So we'll see what happens. So I might just keep going with Aki. Now, one other thing that I'm hearing from my audience, and by the way, it's not everyone. I know it's not everyone. I know that it's a smaller group of my audience, but I would like to call them the vocal minority. They're saying that, man, Phil, you worked hard and you got Blanca into master level. Then you switched consoles and you got Blanca back into master level on another console. Then you worked hard and you got Honda to master level, and you're right on the precipice of getting Lily into master level. Then you're going to play with Aki, right? But you got all these characters in master level, and literally, you never played master matches at all. Every time you got them to master level, that was it. And you guys are... That was the wrong thing. You guys are absolutely correct. You're right. I cut back on playing Street Fighter to play other games. And when I did, and wasn't doing it as a lot of daytime streams and stuff anymore, I basically was focusing just on getting characters to master. You're absolutely positively right. So, perhaps now is the time when I try to actually play characters at a higher level. Alright? I take Blanca, I take Honda, I take Lily, and depending on how things go with Aki, we try to do some master ranked gameplay. Alright? The thing is, I have nothing to lose. Even if I lose every match, who gives a fuck? I can't get kicked out of master, right? It's not a big deal. Also, I have no incentive because guess what? I'll never be one of the top ranked players. The top ranked players have been playing nonstop at master for 3 months. So there's no way I'll ever catch up to them. You know what I mean? If anything, all I'm trying to do is get good matches in. And if I'm playing at master, I have potential to play the best players in the world. I mean, I already played Snake Eyes. That was pretty crazy, was it not? So when I'm at that level, we'll be able to have that level of comp. And I'm excited to see who I can face and what kind of matches I would have playing at master level. So, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a balance of me learning and trying Aki, and then doing master ranked matches with the 3 characters that I've got to master. If I happen to get Aki to master, then maybe that'll be the 4th, but I'm gonna stick to those characters for now. So for those of you saying, well, who's next? Well, who's next? Well, who's next? No one's next. Right now, I want to focus in on the characters I'm good with, get better with them. I don't have to master every character in Street Fighter 6. All I need to do is have fun with it and do good gameplay of it, and that's what I'm aiming to do at this point. Okay? So, I want to see. I want to see how it goes and go from there, and let's see. Maybe, when I play Street Fighter 6 now, moving forward, outside of, getting Lily to master and then Aki, I'll try to do master ranked matches and see how well I do. Keep in mind, I'm probably going to lose a ton. Number one, I haven't played with these characters in a while. I'm going to be rusty. And number two, these people at master rank usually just grind endlessly, so they fucking are going to be way better than me at this point, right? So, let's see how it goes. I think this might reinvigorate people to get more excited for Street Fighter 6 again, because it's not just me grinding it, it's the same fucking mashing scrubs to get to master. It's actual potential to have good matches against good players. So, we'll see, alright? Okay, so that is the deal of what's going to happen. Let's reiterate. Today, it's the React stream and Lies of P. Tomorrow, it's Lies of P and trying to get Lily to master in Street Fighter 6. Tuesday, more Lies of P and Starfield. Wednesday, it's the new character Aki in Street Fighter 6 releasing, and I'm playing her all day long. I'm off from streaming on Thursday. Next week, a balance between Lies of P and the Separate Ways DLC in Resident Evil 4. Night streams will be a balance between Street Fighter 6 gameplay, whether it's Aki or master level gameplay, we'll see, and more Starfield. That's my plans until the new releases start hitting in October. Then you're going to start to see the new games. Also, keep in mind, coming up, I'm going to start reviewing horror movies, one a week on DSP Reacts, starting with Halloween from 2018. Then it's going to be Scream 5. Then it's going to be Halloween Kills. Then it's going to be Scream 6. Then it's going to be Halloween Ends. So I'm going to have 5 horror movie reviews going up over on DSP Reacts over the next month. In addition to that, at one point, we're going to do a special night stream that's a tier maker ranking of horror franchises in movies. That's going to be fun to rank actual horror franchises against each other, because everyone has a different preference for what they like in horror movies. So I'm very excited to see, how that one goes. We haven't done a tier maker now in a couple of months, so it should be fun to do one. So good stuff coming out in the next month or so. We're going to have good gameplay, good new releases in October, Halloween themed stuff. On October 1st, I will have more. I'll change the decorations to be more. One half, I think I'm going to do like all Halloween themed. And the other half, I'll do more gaming themed. So I'll have like half and half. Half gaming, half Halloween, you know, to spruce it up. There's going to be Halloween animations on the streams that we do every year. It's going to be great. So, good stuff incoming. There's only one news story to talk about today. All right? Not a lot. And what I'd like to do is very briefly do it, even though it really won't be a big formal segment. Here's the big news that came out in the last 24 hours. Okay? So, Konami has released a listing of the quality and resolution and frame rate that the new Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 1 will run at on various different consoles and platforms. All right? So first of all, I want to just emphasize something. It's already been explained by Konami that this collection coming out, what is it, is November, I think? This collection is not new versions of the games. It is literally them porting versions of the games that already exist to modern consoles. All right? So Metal Gear Solid 1 is literally PlayStation 1 Metal Gear Solid just ported to play on a modern console. Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 are literally the HD remake editions of the games from the collection that came out over a decade ago on PlayStation 3, just ported to work on modern consoles. That's it. There's no added content. There's nothing that they've changed. There's really like no improvements or quality, nothing. It's just, it will run on your modern console. That's it. It's not a remake. What's happening is people are confusing the fact that they are really remaking Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater as a modern game. They are doing that. They're remaking it with better graphics, better gameplay elements, redone voice acting. Everything is being redone as if it's new. Okay? That's in the works, but that's not what this collection is. For some odd reason, people seem to be mistaking the two. And so, Konami announced these resolution and frame rate of these games. Okay? The first thing that they announced is that Metal Gear Solid 1 will only run at 30 frames per second no matter what version of the game you buy, whether it's PS5, Xbox Series X, Switch, PC. It will only run at 30 frames per second. And people started freaking out. Oh my God, you're kidding me. Only 30 frames? What kind of crap is that? And I got to kind of scratch my head. I got to say, did you not pay any attention to anything that they were saying? They literally said these are just straight up ports. Did you ever play Metal Gear Solid 1 on PlayStation 1? Guess what frame rate it runs at? 30 frames per fucking second. So why did you think that it was going to have more frames? It really confuses me. Why people thought they were going to like have more frames of animation when it's a straight port. They're not reevaluating the game. They're not making it run at a different... It's just the same fucking game. So why on earth would it run better? I don't know. Maybe people really wanted the GameCube version. I heard the GameCube version of Metal Gear Solid 1 is really good. That it really feels like a big improvement on the original. But the thing is, it's insanely rare. Like, it's never digital, right? You can't get that digital anywhere. You have to buy the disc, and the disc is fucking rare as shit and very expensive, so no one really gets to play it anymore. So, I don't know. Metal Gear Solid 1 always had a terrible frame rate. Why would you complain about that? That actually baffles me. Now, however, I will say this, all right? They did announce that all of the games, all of them, okay, on Switch will only be running at 720p resolution, all right, and low frame rate. So once again, after we just had this big debacle, Mortal Kombat 1 being sold on the Switch for $70, and it looks like it's made of Play-Doh, right? It looks like a bunch of claymation fighting each other, like Clay Fighter 2023 or something, right? So now, again, the Switch gets this, it's a cross-platform game, and they're going to get lower resolution, lower frame rate, lower everything. At what point, honestly, do you say enough is enough? Why do we keep supporting these practices and giving Nintendo our money when their console can't outrun these fucking games? I just don't get it. Did you know that the new Switch 2, which we don't know if that's what it's going to be called, but the new hardware has already gone out to game devs, okay? game devs are developing for it. Do you know what the game devs have said? Oh, the Switch 2 hardware is probably equivalent to like a PlayStation 4. The new Nintendo console will be equivalent to a last-gen competitor's console. And we're okay with this. This is fine, apparently. We don't ask anything more. Do we? No, we're fine. We'll all buy it like suckers. We'll line up. We'll buy 700 peripherals for it. If it comes with a little figurine, we'll buy all the figurines as well. Hopefully we'll have stickers. We can put stickers on the figurines for $7 a pop. And we'll stick it all over our fucking console, too. The thumbsticks will be faulty. We won't care. We'll buy 17 new replacement joysticks for each one. 14 wrist straps. We'll have a wrist strap around your wrist, wrist strap around your neck, wrist strap around your fucking toes on your foot to make sure that it doesn't flail around and break things in your house. It's fine. I buy the new Nintendo console. It only cost $300, but I spent $14,000 to fucking get it in my house. But that's fine because it's Nintendo, right? Oh, by the way, I boot up the game, and it looks like I'm fucking playing, Jak and Daxter on the PS2. I don't even know if Jak and Daxter is on the PS2. But I think you get what I'm saying. Why do we do this? Why do we let Nintendo do this to us? Anyway, I just digress. I just find it funny that everyone freaked out at how bad Mortal Kombat 1 looks on Switch, and now they put out the resolution and frame rate of this collection, and it's gonna run like shit on Switch. It's like, oh my god. It's just par for the course, man. Right? It's just par for the course. So, anyway, that's the one news story for today. It's not anything super significant. If you were looking to get this collection as it comes out in the fall, I don't blame you. It's actually pretty hard to play the classic Metal Gear games on modern consoles, right? So it's a great way to get them all together. For me, it's the only way I'd be able to play Metal Gear Solid 1. My PS3 doesn't work anymore, so I can't play the PS1 version on there. I likely will eventually get this collection so I can play Metal Gear Solid 1 again with you guys, which I would love to do for a modern audience. But I'm in no rush to get it because people have been asking me, are you going to buy it? Are you going to get it right away? No, not really. We're going to be so busy with the real new games, not just replaying old games, that's going to be my focus for the fall. But when things slow down, if you guys want to see me play Metal Gear Solid 1, I would consider, getting it at that point. I don't know. I heard that at one point you could just get the games separately. But now I'm hearing like, no, it's only being sold as a collection. So maybe I misheard originally because I was thinking I'll just buy Metal Gear Solid 1. I don't want to get 2 and 3 again because they're remaking 3 completely from the ground up. Why would you want to buy the PS3 version when you're going to get a better version in like a year anyway? But maybe I misheard. I don't know. But I would consider playing Metal Gear Solid 1 again per your request. Let's see what happens moving forward. Troll Destroyer says, what about horror games? Well, Halloween. I do a Halloween marathon every year. And starting October 1st, I'm going to post up threads where you guys will be able to start nominating games you'd like to see me play for that marathon. Members of this channel will get priority to nominate games, while standard viewers will also get to nominate, but they got to compete with each other. Members will actually be selecting 1 to 2 games alone, separate from everyone else will be nominating and voting. Okay, so don't worry, there'll be a Halloween horror marathon. Also, I'll be playing Alan Wake 2 over the month of October when it comes out, so there's going to be some horror stuff. Okay. Cypress TV says, do a backrooms horror game via Steam with mini PC. I have no idea what that means, but I am aware. Now that I have a mini PC, there's been many games over the years you guys have asked me to play, and now I'd probably be able to play them, right? Like, my limitation has always been I can't really play anything on my PC, but this mini PC can probably play any horror game you could throw at it. I mean, it runs Visage on lower settings, but it runs Visage, so we could probably play stuff depending on what you guys wanted, okay? You can. People are saying you can buy the game separately. Well, that's excellent, then. That's definitely what I want to do then. So, okay. Alright, guys, it is time for shout-outs, because it's already noon. It's 12:15. Holy shit, we gotta get going. First shout-out of the day is from Gaspavelli, who re-upped his membership, or her membership, I should say their membership, I guess, for 26 months, and says Blanca to Legend Rank by November. See, Legend Rank, don't you have to get, like, insane amounts of points in Master Rank? And isn't it like you're competing with everybody else, so not everyone can get that high? Didn't they say, like, only 500 players per character can hit Legend or something like that? I think that's what they said. Like, only 500 players worldwide with each character can be a Legend. I don't see how that's possible. Even if I played non-stop starting today with Blanca, I probably wouldn't have enough points. Seriously, I don't believe I would get them. There's people who've been playing Master since like the first month. And they're just never stopped. They never let up. So, I mean, that kind of stuff. Master, that seems feasible for me. But anything above that, I don't think I'm ever going to achieve. Doesn't even matter how good I get or how hard I try. There's always going to be people who have more time and more means to do it than me. I'm a variety streamer. I can't sit here and play Street Fighter 6 all day. You know what I'm saying? But I'll do my best when I play Master. I will try to get better, and I'll try to have good matches. I'm not even kidding. I wouldn't be surprised if the first couple sessions when I play Master with Blanca, Honda, Lily, etc., I just lose the entire night. Maybe it'll be close, but I almost guarantee you I won't even win a single match because I haven't played the game at a high level. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't done this, so it's gonna be like relearning the game. So I get the feeling it's just gonna be me getting spanked constantly. So. Okay, that's all I got on the YouTube side right now is that one re-upping of a membership. Let's scoot over to tips. I got a $2 tip from Radical Jaws. I was watching a video from Jerry Rig Everything. It was about the new iPhone Pro Max. He says he was able to break the back of the phone by just bending it a little bit. He wasn't even trying to. He was surprised how easy it was when he cracked it. Funniest part of this is when you had Apple fanboys defending it on Twitter. X. This is probably how Apple always gets away with selling the same product every year. That's, you know what, I'll be honest with you, that's weird to me. You know, someone who's owned an iPhone for a very long time. You know, I've had an iPhone since, I want to argue, 2011. Maybe it was 2011. Because remember, before then I had a BlackBerry, okay? And I had a BlackBerry for many years. I liked the BlackBerry because it had a physical keyboard, and I have big-ass thumbs, and it's hard for me to type on a touchscreen because my thumbs always hit the wrong buttons, okay? So, I stuck with BlackBerry as long as I could. But I actually remember there was this one day I went to the mall, and it was, if you can believe it, it was with John Rambo and with Howard. And we went to the phone store, and I was talking with the reps in there about it, and they were trying to convince me to get rid of the BlackBerry because it was on the way out. And so at that point, Droid was a thing, but it wasn't like as huge as it is today. And so they were pushing. I was like, you know what? I think I should get an iPhone. And I did. I got an iPhone. And I've had an iPhone for over a decade now. And I will say this, all right? I actually, in my experience, and maybe this is just my experience, I think the iPhone is incredibly durable, all right? I've dropped it. And the thing is, I usually get the good cases, all right? But I've dropped my phone. I've had, you know, but I've never actually had an issue besides battery life. Because after like 2 years of having it, the battery just dies like crazy. It's a piece of shit, all right? But outside of that, I've never had a problem. Like, they just seem to be very durable. Now, the one bad piece of luck that we ever had is that Kat also has an iPhone. And luckily for us, we pay for the insurance plan. Because what happened was, it just happened to slip out of her hand. And of all things, it hit the edge of our metal trash can in the kitchen. And it hit it, get this, directly on the camera. So it smashed against the front-facing camera, and it completely destroyed it. So the front-facing camera did not work, and she couldn't even do the recognition. You know, facial recognition to log in. It wouldn't even work anymore. So luckily, it was just terrible luck that it hit it on that dead spot, because we had screen protectors and everything, but it hit it like right on the spot. Perfect. And so luckily, we had an insurance plan, and it took a little bit of work running around, but we ended up getting a replacement phone, and it was for cheap. It wasn't like you had to pay thousands of dollars. I think it was like under $200, and I was able to get a replacement phone. Same model, same everything that she had because we had the insurance plan. So, that's the only time I ever had an issue with iPhone. Now, Radical Jaws, I saw the video you're talking about. This guy, he basically grabbed a phone like this, okay? And all he really does is he puts his fingers against the back of it, and he goes, like that. And the whole phone just goes crack. The whole back of the phone. Now, not the glass front, the back case of the phone. And if you don't know, what they were saying is this phone, the new iPhone 15, is supposed to be made of titanium. That's how they're advertising it. iPhone 15 is made of titanium alloy. It's going to be super durable. Then how was the guy able to just go, and crack it? I don't know. He didn't even mean to do it. He was just testing it. He was like, I'm curious, does this thing bend at all? And as he does it, he just completely destroys the back of it. So, does that mean that this one now is shit? And if you actually bend it, it's just a piece of garbage? I don't know. But man, you know, really all these changes happening with Apple make me feel like I don't want to be an Apple customer anymore. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like with the fact that they're trying to rip people off with a USB-C cable, you know, they really haven't added any new features into this new iPhone that anyone really cares about. It just makes me feel like they've gone completely the wrong way. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah. Thanks, Radical Jaws, for the first tip of the day. I just got a $1.50 tip from Lady Charisma. I agree with you on Mortal Kombat 1. Instead of Street Fighter 6, for me, this was actually Guilty Gear Strive. I spent the last 2 years playing that. Mortal Kombat is just way too slow for me. I love Mortal Kombat back in the 2000s when I was a kid, but this is just not it. Well, there you go. And like I said, excuse me, the ArcSys fighting games have always been some of the most complex ever. They've always had crazy mechanics and things. You know, back in the day, when I was playing more simplified Street Fighter and then the ArcSys games came out, even then, back then they were too complex for me. Now today maybe I'd be able to handle them because Street Fighter 6 is pretty darn complex too. But yeah, like I hear you. When you're playing something that's just so much more intricate and has layers, and then you play a game that's just so simple, it's just not fun anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, okay. I received a $2 tip from an anonymous tipper. A new Lords of the Fallen comes out October 13th. Do you think it'll be terrible like the first game, or is there a redemption arc? See, the first game really was terrible. I mean, I even made a whole video about it, about its ridiculous glitches and issues that it had. It was a piece of dog shit. And I stopped playing it after about 15 hours because I couldn't stomach it anymore. It was so bad. This new one, I'm very skeptical about. But people are saying, oh no, don't worry. The actual dev team that made the first one didn't make this one. This one is the same in name, and it's the same lore, but it's a completely redesigned world. It's retooled. It plays different, and I'm kind of skeptical. Here's the other thing, too. I'm currently playing Lies of P, and Lies of P is so good. It's so exceeding any kind of possible expectation that I could have had for it that I almost feel like Lords of the Fallen will be a disappointment because it's not going to live up to how good Lies of P is. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. The other thing is, after having played through Lies of P, and likely I'll probably finish up with Lies of P if I stay at the same pace I'm playing now, you know, probably early October. Am I going to want to jump right into another Soulsborne style game back to back? I almost feel like Lords of the Fallen has been trumped. That Lies of P is what's getting all the attention right now. And because that game came out first, that's sucking up everyone's Soulsborne attention. And by the time that Lords of the Fallen comes out, people are going to be like, there's other games that are already out that are better or different. You know what I mean? In October, we got a lot of different video games coming out. So, I don't know. Let me put it this way. I'm not 100% saying, no, I'm not playing Lords of the Fallen. At the same time, I'm skeptical because the first one burned me bad. It sucked. And I'm coming off of Lies of P, so it's kind of like a double whammy reason to maybe not play it, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Let's see what happens. Okay? But I'll leave it open as a possibility. Thank you for the tip. Okay. So everyone, we have a little bit of extra time. This is the segment where we do open Q&A, or if anyone contributes, you know, I'll count it and we'll do a shout out. Now remember, this is the React stream today. I only make revenue on the stream. I don't make revenue on the on-demand videos. So please support the React stream today, particularly either memberships or tips, because that's important. Like I said, my goal is to hit the tier 1 tips goal every stream. So if I can hit it on this React stream, that would be great. Please consider contributing. All right, thank you. Dabian says, in Legend, there's no point cap for Legend. It's whoever the top 500 in points is. For reference, the top point holders have about 202,000 points so far. Well, there you go. There you go. So how in the holy hell would I ever be the top 500 point holders when there's people who literally are non-stop playing Street Fighter 6 and never letting up? This is all they do. They just sit there playing it all day. You know, sorry, I'm a variety streamer. I don't have that kind of time investment to be putting into Street Fighter 6. As much as I like the game, I'm never going to get to that level. So you're never going to see DSP as a legend in Street Fighter 6. Sorry about that. Okay. What's up, Juan David? How are you? Welcome. Happy Sunday to you, Derek. Good to see you. The Lucky Gremlin says, I believe you, and you being top 500, that'll never... I'm telling you, it'll never happen. The only way to be top 500 in a fighting game like that would be to literally, every day, that's all I do. I turn on my stream, it's time to grind. Turn on my stream, it's time to grind. Time to grind. Then maybe within 2 months, I'd have a chance, you know? Again, you have to understand, there's people who only have been playing Street Fighter 6 since it came out in June. There's no way I would hang. Oh, boy. Okay. All right. Anything else you guys have to talk about before we get ready to switch over to the React show for the week? Cypress TV says, my best phone recommendation is the Galaxy S23. It's fast and reliable. They have different sizes like the iPhone does, but the processor is the same in all models. Okay. See, I'll be honest with you. I would be incredibly skeptical about getting one of those folder phones, the ones that, like, you fold them out to be a giant screen. I think there's two different kinds. There's one that's like an old school flip phone, and there's one that's like a giant, it's like a book, like you're opening a novel, right? I don't know about that. I think that stuff is too new. I would be very skeptical about getting a phone like that. Plus, the thing is, they keep putting you on long phone plans. Isn't it true, like, if you want to get one of those, you have to get like a 3-year plan, and you would spread out the payments? But it's a fucking 3 years for... Do you really think opening your phone a million times a day for 3 years is not going to wear out? I think it would. Like, even my old flip phones that I used to have back in the day when I was a kid, they wore out within like a year. Just opening it every day would break. So now imagine a fucking screen you're opening every day for 3 years. I don't know. I feel like that it's still like, it's too much of like an early adoption deal. That's what I feel like to me, like, to get a phone like that. Plus, I'm sure they're fucking crazy expensive. I guarantee you, just because you have a fold-out screen, it's probably like double the price of the other phone. So, I would probably, if I'm looking for a new phone, I'd probably go for, first of all, and I'll say this, I need something bigger. I've always liked the smaller form factor phones, but man, I can't type on my fucking phone anymore. I just can't. I can't, you know, I fat finger. I have fat thumbs, and I fat finger it. Every time I try to type, I get the wrong letter. I need something bigger, for sure. And, see, I wonder, like, you guys are talking Android. The only concern, I have no loyalty to Apple. I should just say this right out front. I have absolutely no loyalty to Apple whatsoever. Zero. But would I lose something if I were to convert from Apple to Android? What would I lose? I get the feeling there'll be something proprietary to Apple or something useful on there that I use all the time, and I would have to get used to not having it. And so that's all it would be. And of course, the hassle of transferring everything over, that would be like completely reinstalling everything from scratch and doing everything from scratch and stuff like that. You know what I say? I have to look into it. Anyway, Radical Jaws did a super chat, says, I use an iPhone too. I'm surprised it broke as well. Yeah, so I don't know. That was a weird video. I saw it and I was like, huh? But I don't know. Like I said, my iPhone has always been durable, and I've dropped the thing, never really had a major issue with it in that regard. Just the battery. The battery is shit. So. Oh, let's see here. I received a generous... Wow. I received a generous 1,000 penny tip. 1,000 pennies from Dan the Man, who says, hey, Phil. Thank you to Dan the Man for the 1,000 penny tip. I really appreciate that. Let's get the animation going for you and get you up on the leaderboard. I did it last night, too. I keep fooling people and saying it's like 1,000 and it's pennies. Thank you, Dan the Man. Okay. Oops, why did I get rid of the dollar sign? That was stupid. There we go. Okay. Lady Christmas says, that's what's great about Android. There's an Apple alternative out there for almost anything. So you're saying basically anything that was on Apple, literally there'll be an alternative on Android. Cypress TV says, I don't know what you would lose. Your mobile gaming accounts that are attached to Apple, unless the app has its own account attached to it. I mean, Apple Music is on Android. I'm almost positive that most apps are cross-platform regardless. Like if it was on the iOS store or the Apple store, you can get it on the Droid store. What do they call it? The Droid store? The Google store? I don't know what it's called. I'm sure you can probably get it there. The thing would be like account migrations and stuff. Might be a little annoying. I know sometimes. I'll give you an example. And this is really bad. So years and years ago, as you guys know, I used to play various different mobile games back in the day. WWE Supercard was one, and even that Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle game. But I haven't played that in 100 years. But I used to play those. And then at one point, I think this was the last time I actually upgraded my iPhone. So we're talking many years ago at this point. I got the new iPhone, and I said, you know, on a whim, I hadn't played the games. Let me just try to like download these games and log into them or whatever on this phone. And I did, and I realized they had no account backup whatsoever. None. Zero. So any progress that I had made on my previous phone, erased, as if I don't exist. I was like, you're kidding me. There was no way to resume my progress. So all that time I'd put into it, the money I'd put into it years and years ago, erased on those games. No way to resume. Now, they had added it. At that point, they were like, oh, here's a way now to create an account in our system, and this will be a way to restore your account in the future. But when I was playing those games, we're talking over 5-6 years ago, you know, the earlier days when I moved here, like 2014, 15, 16, they didn't have backups for them at all. So you just played, and if you got rid of your phone, you got fucked. And that's what happened. Like, wow, so I could never resume. If I ever wanted to play WWE Supercard, I could never play that. It's gone. The account's gone. Dokkan Battle, it's literally gone. Everything that I put into those games erased because I got a new phone. That's pretty fucked up. And that's how now it seems like every game has a backup. It's like they have their own account system or whatever that you can use. Okay. How dare you? BattleDuck says, as an Android user, you don't have the chops for it. Stick with iOS. How dare you, BattleDuck? I'm very insulted by you. You said that to me. You better apologize to me publicly right now. Wade Mills says, you ever watch the Street Fighter animated American series? Yes, I did. I did not the anime, but the American TV show. It was on USA Network. It was terrible. Atrociously bad. That's where the meme comes. The M. Bison meme. Yes! Yes! That's where that meme comes from. And did you know that T-Hawk actually flies? In that show, he can just fly like Superman. He goes like this. He's flying through the sky like he's an actual hawk, like this. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, wait, what? Yes, in that game, in that show, he flies. It's amazing. No, we're not going to get Jasper a kitty girlfriend. No, I don't know what Battle Cats is. And no, I've never ridden a zebra. Thanks for those very pertinent questions. What on earth? All right, guys, anything else? Any last minute questions here? Because like I said, what we're going to do is we'll adjourn briefly. I'll use the bathroom. And then we'll get set up with our usual show. Should be a good one this week, I hope. We'll see what variety of stuff. By the way, I do have some stuff to say in regards to clips nominated. Three important things to say about it this week. And I'll say that on the channel over there, DSP Reacts. I figure, why say it here? We'll talk about it on DSP Reacts when everyone's there. Okay? Am I going to play the new Bog Snacks game? Bog Snacks. Interesting. Bog Snacks. I didn't know. Is this a spin-off of something? Bug Snacks I really like, but I don't know about Bog Snacks. I don't know if there's a difference. Sewage King says a stream Team Fortress 2 one-off stream would be great for Halloween. The last time I tried to play Team Fortress 2 many years ago, it was just a fuck fest. And what I mean by that is Literally a million people just showed up. They were trying to find what server I was on, and they just like completely destroyed the server with nonsense. They were going around spraying nonsense on the walls, throwing items all over the floor. Basically, the game was unplayable. It seemed like people could hunt you down and find you, and just like inundate your server with nonsense. So I don't really. I would like to play the game randomly. I don't want to be like harassed. Have a million people showing up to the server that just act like assholes. So, oh really? Sprays have been disabled in casual play. Is that true? Why did they get so bad that they had to turn them off? Was it really that bad? I can just imagine. Wow. I do like Pocky. I think Pocky is tasty. I first had Pocky in Chinatown, New York City, on a trip to Chinatown Fair, the arcade where all the people used to go to play competitive Street Fighter in New York City. And just around the corner, there's a bunch of Chinese markets and restaurants and things like that. And I bought some Pocky and ate it and loved it. Various flavors. Chocolate Pocky, strawberry Pocky. There's all different flavors. I think there's like a hazelnut Pocky. They're all good. Really? No, you can't even imagine. The game was completely ruined. That's why they turned off the sprays. Wow. Oh, no. Oh, no. You hear that beeping, right? There's a truck outside making tons of fucking noise backing up or something. It's very annoying. Wade Mills says, you and Arturo Sanchez used to hang out there. Everyone on the East Coast. Like, I mean, it's not just... everyone from New York. So you're talking, you know, Justin Wong, Arturo Sanchez, Sanford Kelly, Mike D, Josh Wigfall, and then later on, the Marvel 2 crew. So guys like Yipes and stuff like that. All the Marvel 2 crew always hung out at Chinatown Fair. And then people would travel to play there. You know, if you didn't live in New York, you would travel to New York to play the best there. It was really known, a very notable arcade, all run by Henry Sen, who never owned it, but always was an employee or manager there, trying to keep that community alive for a lot of people. It was very nice, the work he put in, because I'm pretty convinced the arcade owner didn't know shit about fighting games. It was always Henry Sen who would be telling him, no, we need to improve this, we need to do this, you know, we need to get these controls, we need to get this going, that going. Which is really nice, so. Oh, let's see here. Excuse me. You thought the beep was outside your house? No, there's some annoying truck outside my house beeping. It was pissing me off, too. It's still doing it. Jesus Christ, stop backing up. Cypress TV says, the Amazon truck driver is dropping off your 2,000 copies of MK1 for the Switch. Oh, good. Stack them right in my driveway. Make it so I can't even leave. Right? There you go. Oh, what's up, Jade? How you doing today? What's the next major game release? The next major actual big new release would be Assassin's Creed Mirage, and I think that's either the end of the first week or beginning of the second week of October. So we've got a couple of weeks to get through what I'm playing. Boy, this truck is really fucking pissing me off at this point. I'm not gonna lie. I want to go out there and say, what the fuck's your problem? That's right. So get this, not in my community, but out back, past the fence, right over there, there's a house. Some guy rented a piece of equipment that like a professional would use. It looks like it's one of those, you get on it and it lifts you up, like upwards. I don't know what they would call it. It's not a crane. What do you call that? A lift? Whatever they're called. You would use them in construction, or sometimes you would see people use this like go up the side of a building, maybe to clean the windows and stuff. So it looks like they rented one of those, and the guy has absolutely no idea how to use it at all. He's like standing on it. It's just a dude in a normal t-shirt. He doesn't work for a company. You can tell he rented it. And he's looking at it, he's like fucking with the buttons. He's like, he's an idiot. He's so he keeps pressing a button that makes it back up and makes tons of noise. Anyway, what are you gonna do? Right? It's life. You have to deal with the geniuses. You deal with the others, as you know. Anyway, I'm glad you're enjoying Lives of Pete, Derek. Okay, shall we? I think we gotta end. So here's the deal. Here's how it's gonna work. We're gonna end the show as always on Sundays. You're gonna see a pop-up that says, "Hey, head over to DSP Reacts for their weekly React show." Click on it. You'll head over there. I'll get that stream set up. I'll have that up and running within, say, 5 minutes or so. I do need to take a break. I'm going to use the restroom and everything, so there'll be some music and stuff going on over there. And then we'll jump in. I do have a few quick things I have to say about it this week because there were some nominations and things that just aren't viable. I want people to know that up front of what's allowed and what's not. And I already have those rules listed, but a lot of people don't listen. So I basically just want to emphasize that so that we don't have repeat nominations and things that aren't eligible, okay? Jade, I will see you tonight. She's going to play some MK1. Sounds good. All right, let's end the show, guys. Thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed DSP versus the Internet. Well, I hope you will enjoy DSP versus the Internet and come with me. But if not, I'll see you all tomorrow to talk about Lies of P, to talk about how the show went, and go from there. Thank you all for watching. I got to get out from under this pile of leaves in order to get the show started. But thanks. I will see you all soon.